Hey guys, this video I'm going to talk about my recommendations to somebody who's first starting into a steroid cycle, and I feel like I need to do this because I've had people who on my channel who are asking for legit advice, and I want to provide the advice the best way I can. People who chose to go down this path of taking steroids, that's up to you. I'm not going to say that's either good or bad. There are a lot of benefits to it, obviously. That's what I'm here to promote on my channel, my own experience. But there's a lot of risks and negative side effects as well. So again, this is a response to somebody who's commented on who comments on my channel quite a bit, and his comment today was that he's trying the VAR today, Anavar, and 1 hour pre-workout sublingually. That's how I recommend doing it. And the pumps were great. You'll notice great pumps. You'll notice great central nervous system activation and energy and like drive, and that's why I love it so much. Because I'm almost tempted to go right on it right now, but I can't because I'm on my cruise period. I want to give my body a break. Anavar is one of my favorite steroids to do. Okay. But his knees felt kind of sore though, and his suspicion is it's Winnie being Winstrol. Thoughts? What are my thoughts about that? Well, if you're really concerned about the purity of your anabolics, there's steroid tests kits you can get. Steroidtests.com. I don't know, just Google it, and you can find tests for any substance. That's what I did initially for all my testosterone. I tested it, and other compounds as well. So that is one thing you can do. But Anavar and Winstrol, I would say. Now, I'm no expert on this because I've never taken Winstrol. Is you're going to get there's some commonalities there, and there's a dryness effect. So what you might be experiencing is some dryness. Now, if you watched other videos that I've done about Anavar, it is that I wouldn't recommend front loading, which means I wouldn't recommend just start taking testosterone and Primo or whatever else you're taking and then start taking Anavar. I would recommend waiting 2 months. And then at the end of that cycle, start taking the Anavar because that boosts it up a notch. And what you want to gauge is, so this is the logical process that I took that worked for me, that I recommend for everybody else, is you start just with testosterone. Okay. I started with 250, which is probably too much, but 250. Okay, 150, 250. Start with that, and then every week you build up 50 to 100. Okay, so you get to a point which might be around 300. That's going to be 400, where you'll start feeling the estrogenic effects, which is not great. Okay, and you want to be able to recognize that. Okay, now then you add in the other compounds, which is either Mastron or Primobolan, and then you work your way up to match very quickly, matching the amount of testosterone taking at that point. Okay, there's going to be a point in time where your estrogenic effects might be kind of blown out like too much. Okay, it's just the way it is, and you'll recognize it, and you're not going to necessarily get gynecomastia. You're not going to get necessarily man boobs. Okay, because you're not taking ridiculous amounts like 300, 400, around that zone is fine. But as long as you're not doing that for prolonged periods of time, and then you start taking Primobolan, okay, 1-to-1 ratio. Then, after about 6 weeks or so, 2 months, then you add the Anavar. In the last portion of the cycle, you add the Anavar, which is the last month of a 3 month to 4 month cycle. You might just runs for 4 months, so it's like 6 weeks ish, that area. At the end, I would never recommend preloading, which means you start off a cycle with Anavar. Please don't. Please don't. That's what some people do with some orals, such as like D-ball what they do is preload D-ball with like testosterone and something else, but that's very bad. I wouldn't never recommend that. That's kind of a phase that the bodybuilders do, and you'll get massive bloating, D-ball. It's not worth. I don't know. This video is not about D-ball, okay? But that's the only time that you do the preloading, okay? Anavar is at the end. It's about to take your cycle up a notch at the end. Once you've got everything stabilized, that's like you got the right proportions down on the other compounds. You got your primary compound, which is the testosterone. You got your secondary compound, which is either masteron or primabone, to mitigate the estrogenic effects of the estradiol. And then I added my last cycle nandrolone, which I recommend actually being better than Anavar in some regards because you can run it longer. But Anavar was a great one as well. And again, only 6 weeks at the end of your blasting cycle. Don't preload that shit. And part of the reasoning for this is some of these compounds, like especially if you're running, like from what I understand you are, testosterone and primabone, take a few weeks to kick in to full effect. So you want those to kick in, and then you want, once they have kicked in, you want to run those for a certain period of time, being a few weeks before you add the Anavar. Okay. Now Anavar has very great effects. If you look at the estrogenic to anabolic rating, it's like 200 to 300 to anabolic to like 20 or 30 androgenic. Like there's no androgenic effects. That's why women take it in small doses. But regardless, there still is androgenic effects, so I don't want to mitigate that. The other thing it can do is raise your LDL levels. So that's also a good reason to get a baseline on the other things before you add it. But I wouldn't be too concerned with it. If you're running for 6 weeks at a time, that's fine. Okay. So again, this video is just in response to the guy who comments on all my videos, and I really respect him for that. Thank you. And thank you for sharing your journey. I hope you do it, and I hope you add it to your own channel, and we can actually have a conversation more face to face, or if you want to reach out, be happy to talk with you more face to face about this, because believe it or not, I'm here to help people to mitigate the risks. You know what I mean? In what I've learned, because even though I've gone out into the deep end of things in the anabolic world, I'm doing it methodologically, okay, with a method. So that's what I'm here to help. And if anybody wants to, not necessarily follow what I'm doing, but it wants the advice on how I did it and what I feel is the best way to do it, and I can, direct you to other resources, please reach out on that regard, and I'd be happy to help with that, because I would hate for somebody to take my advice wrong and run into troubles, okay? Or not do it optimally. That would suck. But what's the point then, right? So anyway, thanks for your comment, and hope to talk with you soon. Peace.